Hey people, I welcome you back to this video in which a set of videos in which we are solving previous year board question problems. This in this video, I'm going to be solving the compartment 2023 question, the choice question. Again, a question related to forfeiture entry issue. There are a couple of more questions, so I thought we'll first finish forfeiture entry issue and then go to the pro rata forfeiture entry issue, that comprehensive problem. All right. So pass necessary journal entries for the forfeiture and reissue of shares in the following cases. CC Limited forfeited 10,000 shares of rupees 10 each. Rupees 8 called up for non-payment of allotment money of rupees 3 per share and first call of rupees 3 per share. Out of these, 2,000 shares were reissued for rupees 7 per share, rupees 8 paid. All right. So this is beautiful. It's the same thing. It's again like the way they have given that information might be different. What we're going to do is very similar to what we have done in the previous questions. Okay. So if you look at the question, there is no premium involved in this question. The shares are not fully called up. As you can clearly see, it says shares of rupees 10 each, rupees 8 called up, which means what? The shares have not been fully called up. Only 8 rupees has been called up. And they've given that allotment money of 3 has not been paid and first call of 3 has not been paid. So that makes up 6 rupees. Totally 8 rupees has been called up. Out of that, allotment money is 3 and first call is 3. So that is 6 rupees, which means application money is 2. And the final call money is rupees 2. Am I right or not, my dear children? 8 rupees has been called up. Allotment money and first call has not been paid, which means that is part of the called up value. So that is totally 6 rupees. So application money is the other remaining that has been called up, which is 2 rupees. And first call money is, final call money. The amount that has not been called up is 2, which is very obvious. 10 rupees share, 8 has been called up. So what has not been called up is 2 rupees. And it's a case of partial reissue. But whatever be it, let's start doing the problem, solving the problem. As usual, I want you to write the name of the company and basic stuff that I want you to do. As it's a partial reissue question, I'm going to copy the whole thing. No, it'll save us the time of me having to type the whole thing. Just give me a second. Yeah, there we go. Let me paste it. So this is CC Limited, right? So in the books of CC Limited, this is also a question without premium. So remove that. Let's find out the number. The company has forfeited 10,000 shares of 10 each, rupees 8 called up. Equity share capital has to be debited with the amount called up, share capital called up into number of shares forfeited. So that is 80,000. Pretty straightforward. And it has been forfeited for non-payment of allotment money of rupees 3 per share and first call of rupees 3 per share. So 6 rupees has not been paid up. Am I right, my dear children? So 10,000 into 6 is a calls and arrear portion. So what will be a share forfeiture portion? That will be 20,000, right? Very simple. Am I right, my dear children? And now the shares are being reissued. Let's see how they are reissuing the shares. Out of these, 2,000 shares were reissued for rupees 7 per share as rupees 8 paid. Understood or not? So 2,000 have been reissued for rupees 7 per share as rupees 8 paid. So we are collecting 7 rupees per share. 2,000 into 7, 14,000. We are considering it as rupees 8 paid up. So 2,000 into 8, 16,000. So what is the discount that we are giving? 2,000. Am I right or not, my dear children? So that's done. And then as it's a partial reissue, we'll have to do the working note. Profit on forfeiture per share. What is the profit on forfeiture per share? 20,000 is the profit on forfeiture of all the shares forfeited. How many shares were forfeited? 2,000 shares were forfeited, right? So profit on forfeiture per share will be 20,000 divided by 2,000. 10 rupees per share. What is the loss on reissue per share? The question states that the shares were reissued for rupees 7 as rupees 8 paid up. So we're collecting 7 rupees and we're saying that, okay, I'll consider rupees 8 has been paid up. So there is a discount of 1 rupee per share that they're giving. So the loss on reissue per share is 1 rupee. So the profit on reissue is obviously 9 rupees. The number of shares reissue. What is the total number of shares? Oh my God, my dear children. Oh, I'm correct. Yeah, I'm correct. No problem. But here I'm wrong. It's actually 10,000. We have forfeited 10,000 shares. We are not forfeited 2,000 shares. 2,000 was the number of shares reissued. All right. So it's 10,000. So 20,000 divided by 10,000. The profit on forfeiture per share is 2. Profit on reissue per share will be 1. The total number of shares reissued is how much, my dear children? How much? 2,000 into profit on forfeiture per share, profit on reissue per share, which is 2,000. So this journal entry will be 2,000. That's it, my dear children. It's very easy. Once you understand the concept, it's easy, my dear children. I'm sure that you can do it. Just focus and try to do it yourself. Once you're done with this, if you are not understanding a certain part of the explanation, you can always comment and you can tell me to explain that further. Or in case you're finding it difficult to understand any problem given in the worksheet that I've given you, I've shared a worksheet with you guys. So I'll be, for the YouTube viewers, I'll be uploading the worksheet in a drive, and then I'll share the link with you guys in the comment description section. You can look at it then. At this moment, I don't know if it'll be there or not, but I'll upload it in the near future. So if you have any doubts, you ask me. It's very simple, my dear children, once you know how to go about doing this. All right, moving on to the next question. GG Limited forfeited 2,000 shares of 10 each fully called, issued at a premium of 10%, on which only application money of 3 was received. Out of these, 500 shares were reissued at rupees 11 per share, fully paid up. Understood or not, my dear children? So they've given the usual information, but not in the usual way. They've given it as a paragraph. No, it has not been neatly written as application is this much, allotment is this much. When you see something like this, you should not get intimidated. You just understand what is given. And that is why I always tell it for all accountancy students, comprehension skills, analytical skills, and arithmetic skills are important. You just have to understand what they've given. Then this is a very easy problem. GG Limited forfeited 2,000 shares of 10 each, fully called up, issued at a premium of 10%, on which only application money of rupees 3 per share was received. So only application money has been received. Allotment has not been received. They have not even mentioned if premium is receivable along with application or not, which means you can assume that premium is receivable along with allotment, and that has also not been received. Out of these, 500 shares were reissued at rupees 11 per share, fully paid. They reissue at a premium, which is even more easier for us. Understood or not? So now, in this question, premium also has not been received by the company. Am I right or not, my dear children? And therefore, we'll have to debit securities premium account also when we are passing the journal entry for forfeiture. We go to debit securities premium account also, because premium has not been received. Securities premium account debit. Share capital account. Now let's do the numbers. Understood or not, my dear children? Let's look at the question and do the numbers. Let me just hide this for you, so it will be easier for us to navigate. Yeah. GG Limited forfeited 2,000 shares of 10 each, fully called, issued at a premium of 10%. The premium amount is how much, my dear children? 10% of, they haven't given of what? But it's obvious, right? Whenever the rate of percentage of premium is given, it should be applied on the face value of the share. 10% of 10 rupees. Understood or not, my dear children? So that is 1. So total number of shares forfeited is 2,000. Premium unpaid is 1 rupee per share, so that will be 2,000. And equity share capital is what? They haven't mentioned if they've called up entirely or not. They haven't mentioned if they've called up till first call or final call or anything. Oh, no. They mentioned, see, they mentioned that the shares have been fully called up. Fully called up, my dear children. Very easy. So what? Total number of shares forfeited into called up value of capital. It is fully called up and therefore it is face value called up. Therefore, 2,000 into 10, 20,000. Now, in this question, is it wise to calculate the calls in arrears or wise to calculate the amount paid? It's wise to calculate the amount paid because only application has been paid, my dear children. Only application money has been paid. 3 rupees has been paid. So amount paid will be credited to share forfeiture, right? So 2,000 into 3 is 6,000. What will be calls in arrears? It will be 20,000 plus 2,000 minus 6,000. The balancing figure 16,000. Balancing figure of 16,000. The total issue price of the share was 11. Out of that, 8 rupees, 3 rupees has been received. So calls and arrears will be 8. This into 2,000 will give you 16,000. So our computation is right. Understood or not, my dear children? And now we got to reissue the shares. Out of these shares, 500 shares are reissued at 11 per share fully paid. So 10 rupee shares are being reissued for rupees 11 as fully paid up. What does it mean, my dear children? We're reissuing the shares at? Yes, we're reissuing the shares at premium. We're reissuing the shares at premium. How many shares are we reissuing? 500 shares. For what amount? 11 rupees per share. Understood? So 500 into 1 is the premium portion, 500 into 10. So capital portion. That's it. But this is a case of partial reissue. Whenever partial reissue happens, what do? We do the working note for partial reissue. It's very, very simple, my dear. What is the profit on forfeiture per share? The total profit on forfeiture, 6,000, divided by the number of shares forfeited, 2,000. The total profit on forfeiture, 6,000. The amount credited to share forfeiture account when the shares were forfeited, or the amount paid up by the person whose shares were forfeited, so divided by the number of shares forfeited will give us the profit on forfeiture per share. What is the loss on reissue per share? There is no loss on reissue. The shares were reissued at premium, so there is no loss on reissue. That's 0. What is the profit on reissue per share? 3. How many shares did we reissue? 500. So 500 into 3 will give you a total profit on reissue, which has to be transferred to capital reserve. Understood or not, my dear children? Did I make sense to you? Did it make sense to you? This is so easy, my dear children, and this was asked in board exam 2023. You just have to understand the concepts and be patient and apply the concepts. I just checked the solution and it is right. What we have done is correct. Patiently listen to this again if you're not understanding, and if you're still not understanding something, if you have doubts, please do get back to me. We'll catch up with you guys with another video with another previous year question. Till then, you people take care, have fun.